Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another midweek review reviewing all of this week's Champions League and Championship action. Starting off in the Champions League on Tuesday night with a crucial win for Manchester United at Villarreal. Goals from Ronaldo and Sancho, so good to finally see him on the team sheet. And yeah, a great win for Michael Carrick. You couldn't really have asked for much more. Qualification, he changed it up when Villarreal were getting on top. And yeah, that's a sign of a good manager. I know it's only very short spell, but this was definitely a promising start for the post-Ole era. Before moving on, it finished Chelsea 4, Juventus 0 at Stamford Bridge. Goals from Chalobah, James, Hudson-Odoi and Werner. And yeah, this was comfortable for Chelsea. Really good performance. And yeah, Juventus, you forget they're still a really good side. And Chelsea basically absolutely destroyed them here. Qualification to the last 16, they just look so good at the moment. And some may say almost unstoppable. It's just crazy to see how many good teams in England we have going around, and this just proved it. Another comfortable win for an English team in the Champions League, Rule Britannia and all of that. Liverpool 2, Porto 0 was the score at Anfield. Goals from Thiago and Mo Salah sealed the win, and yeah, comfortable win for Liverpool, really solid performance. They're already through, they could rest a few players, took the likes of Salah and Mane off. So yeah, from a Liverpool point of view, you couldn't really ask for more. You have players like Morton and that starting, so yeah, just bringing through the young players, really couldn't have asked for more. Man City 2, PSG 1 was the score at the Etihad. Despite a dominant first half, Kylian Mbappe opened the scoring in the 50th minute. However, 2 goals from Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus for City sealed the win, and yeah, great win for City, considering the sort of players that PSG have, Messi, Mbappe, Neymar and all of that. City were just absolutely dominant here, and it's just a pleasure to watch them at points. Yeah, PSG, they just don't play as a unit, but City, they were just on another level here. But moving on then to the Championship, and starting off with Tuesday night's action, and it finished Forest 0, Luton 0 at the City ground. Not a lot to say here, except for Jack Colback was sent off in the 61st minute for a second booker offence. The penalty was taken by Elijah Adebayo, who missed surprisingly, considering the great form he's been in since he's joined Luton. And yeah, Luton will be frustrated, but for Forest, playing almost a third of the game with 10 men, it's a solid enough result to hang on to the point. But moving on then, Middlesbrough 1, Preston 2 was a score at the Riverside, handing Chris Wilder his first loss as Borough manager. Paddy McNair gave them a great start in the 33rd minute and the lead before 2 goals in 4 minutes in the second half from Ched Evans and Reece sealed the win for Preston. And yeah, great win for Preston, puts them in 14th, solidly mid-table. Middlesbrough though, they're disappointing. New managers just come in, first home game, and yeah, you bottle it like that, second home game, sorry. But moving on, Coventry 0, Birmingham 0 was the score at the Coventry Building Society Arena. I always get confused with that name. Yeah, once again, not a lot to talk about in this game. There was a sending off in the second half for Woods of Birmingham, but yeah, in the end Coventry can get the breakthrough despite being the better team. Birmingham will be very happy with the form Coventry have been in this season. It's a really solid result for them. But as for Birmingham, yeah, just disappointing stuff really. Moving on, it finished Blackpool 0, West Brom 0 at Bloomfield Road, and yeah, third 0-0 in 4 games in the Championship. That's very unlike the Championship, but yeah, not a lot to report in this one. West Brom definitely had the better opportunities, but you know, Blackpool, they hang on in there. Valorant Ismail will be more disappointed. That's 1 win in 5 now for West Brom. With the squad they have, you kind of expect more, especially when you play a style like Ismail's. The fans will want results. But moving on then to Reading 0, Sheffield United 1, and obviously this game was overshadowed by John Fleck's collapse in the second half, but yeah, thankfully he's okay. He's out of hospital now and conscious and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's really great to hear, because it's always scary when someone goes down like that. But yeah, on to the game itself. Bogle with the only goal of the game in the 56th minute, and that's a great win for Sheffield United. But yeah, Reading were really poor here, but Sheffield United, they still weren't at their best, but you know, they were better. But for Reading, they must be getting concerned now really. But moving on, it finished Cardiff 0, Hull 1. Part of the reason Reading are getting concerned is Hull. Suddenly this crazy upturn in form. Keane Lewis Potter with the only goal of the game in the 15th minute, giving Hull the win. 3 wins in the trot, coming absolutely out of nowhere, and into 19th now. Cardiff, a win here would have really dragged them away from the relegation scrap, but in the end it hasn't worked out, and yeah, they're down in 20th now, still only 3 points clear of the drop zone, so hugely disappointing for them. Barnsley 0, Swansea 2 was the score at Oakwell yesterday. Goals both coming in the second half, 74th and 79th minute, one from Natcham and one from Patterson. And yeah, a really solid win for Swansea because of course the form's been a bit up and down as of late, and lost, drawn or win now from the last 3, so that kind of just says it all. But for Barnsley, yeah, really disappointing again. That's 3 losses on the trot, and yeah, it's just showing no signs of improvement even under new management. But moving on, it finished QPR 1, Huddersfield 0 at Loftus Road. The only goal of the game coming from Amos in the 81st minute, 10 minutes after he came on. And yeah, QPR, the question that I have to ask here is how didn't they score more and how didn't they score earlier, because they were by far the best team here. But you know, they're entering a decent run of form now, so they'll be pleased. Huddersfield though, I think they will really be disappointed. Just a poor performance in general. To be honest, I'm surprised they held on for as long as they did at 0-0 really. Another team that will probably be disappointed is Bournemouth, who once again dropped points. Dominic Solanke in the 44th minute gave them the lead before Benny Kafobe in the 67th minute equalled things up for Millwall, and yeah, Millwall took a point, and to be honest, it was pretty well deserved. It was a close game, but yeah, I'd say Millwall deserved a point, and for Bournemouth they'll be really disappointed. Second now, Bournemouth in the table, still only a point behind Fulham, and 9 points clear, but yeah, they're just entering a bit of a rut. But moving on, it finished Bristol City 1, Stoke 0 at Ashton Gate. Bacon summoned the goal in the 38th minute gave Bristol City the win. And yeah, fortress Ashton Gate, after all of that time without winning, they got 7 points from the last 9 at Ashton Gate, and suddenly they're looking good. But as for Stoke, really, they were the best team here. I would probably say missed some unbelievable chances, so they'll be really, really gutted with that performance. And Joe Allen was sent off late on, which really didn't help things either. Moving on, Blackburn were at their best as they destroyed Peterborough 4-0. Harry Pickering, Ben Brereton, Lenihan and Brereton Diaz again, a Chilean superstar, with all goals for Blackburn. And yeah, that was a really, really strong performance overall. Just a point outside the playoffs now, on a really good run of form. But as for Peterborough, this was concerning, and yeah, they're in the relegation zone now. On the whole, yeah, just a hugely disappointing game, and they really are leaking goals. They conceded 7 more than every other team in the division. Moving on though to a great result for Derby as they drew 0-0 away at Fulham. Fulham were the best team here, did miss some chances as you'd expect, but you know, Derby hang on in there and had some chances themselves, and what a great result for Derby, 4 points from 2 against Bournemouth and Fulham. Every team in the league would have snapped their hands up for them. Will it come too late? Yes, probably, but considering everything they've gone through, they still are doing a really solid job, so yeah, they can be proud of that. But yeah, on the whole for Fulham, I think they'll be very disappointed with that. It's a game really that they should/have to be winning.
Anyway guys, that's that video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, link for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel and subscribe, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.